Okay, so today we talked about the discriminant, which is the b squared minus 4ac underneath the radical, and then we learned how to use the quadratic formula to solve a quadratic. So in numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're finding the discriminant and figuring out what type of solutions it is. So the discriminant for number 1 is going to be 16 minus 4 times 1 times negative 5. So that's going to be 16 plus 20, which is 36. So this means we're going to have two solutions and they're going to be real because the answer was a positive number. In number 2, we're going to have 4 minus 4 times 4 times 3, which is going to be 4 minus 48. So that's negative 44. So those are negative, which means it's going to be 2 imaginary. And number 3, we have to make sure that we have this in standard form before we can do ABC. So that's 3x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 0. So now my b is negative 2, that's 4, minus 4 times 3 times 1. So this is 4 minus 12. Which is negative 8. If it's negative, it's going to be 2 imaginary. And the last one, we're going to do 121 minus 4 times 2 times 3. So that's 121 minus 24. Whoops. Minus, not equal. So that's going to be equal to 97, which is going to be 2, and they are going to be real. Alright, so number 5, 6, and 7, you're going to solve using the quadratic formula. So you're going to do the opposite of b, which is going to be negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 25 minus 4 times 1 times 6, so this is like doing the discriminant, divided by 2 times 1. So this is going to be positive 5 plus or minus the square root of 25 minus 24 divided by 2. So 25 minus 24 is the square root of 1, which is actually equal to 1. So this becomes x equals 5 plus or minus 1 divided by 2. So we're going to do 5 plus 1 divided by 2, and we're going to do 5 minus 1 divided by 2. So the answer here is going to be 3, and the answer here is going to be 2. So 3, 0, and 2, 0 are going to be my two solutions. In number 6, we have to get it into standard form before we can use the formula. So this is going to be negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 minus 4 times 1 times negative 2 divided by 2 times 1. So x is going to be equal to positive 2 plus or minus 4 plus 8 divided by 2. So this is going to be the square root of 12 when you do 4 plus 8. Now that has to be simplified. So if you think about simplifying radical 12, remember that 12 is 4 times 3. So, and this is 2 times 2. So it's going to be 2 radical 3. So this is going to be 2 plus or minus 2 radical 3 divided by 2. At this point you can simplify by crossing this out, and it becomes x equals 1, 2 divided by 2 is 1, plus or minus 2 divided by 2 is 1, radical 3. And these become your two solutions. Number 7, we're going to do negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 minus 4 times 4 times 3 divided by 2 times 4. So this is going to be positive 2 plus or minus. We're going to do 4 minus 48 divided by 8. 4 minus 48 is going to be negative 44. So because it's negative, we're going to have an I in our answer. When I simplify radical 44, that's going to be 2 times 4 times 11, which will be 2 times 2. So it's going to be 2 square roots of 11, and you have to have the I. Back up and put that in there. So 2I radical 11, because it is a imaginary. You've got a negative under the radical sign. So when you simplify 1/8, that becomes 1/4. Same thing here. So this becomes 1 plus or minus I radical 11 divided by 8. And we're done.